and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Janet Cresson. We have a great show lined up for you today, but right now we're going to start with talking about why the children of Black Earth have no excuse to be bored this summer. Joining me is Karen Carlock. She is the founder of the brand new Black Earth Children's Museum. Hi, Karen. Thanks for joining me today.
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
And congratulations. You opened on June 12th, so you've been 1 month in business, so to speak.
Yes, it has been an amazing 6 weeks, and we're just so happy to be open. And all the faces and children we've seen come in has just been really exciting.
I've seen some of the highlights, and it does look very exciting and very fun. What inspired you to open this, to start this, to do this? This is a big project.
Yeah, it was a great project. Last June, my husband and I took our kids. We have 3 children under the age of 5, and we went up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and went to a children's museum in Marquette. And it was quaint, and it was community built, and we were sitting in one of the exhibits and said, we should do this with the building. So we already had owned the building at 1131 Mill Street, and we're trying to find a purpose for it that would give back to the community. So that's what we landed on, and in 1 year, we got it open.
In 1 year?
Yeah.
In 1 year is pretty amazing to actually be up and running. How were you able to manage that?
Yeah, it was the community that all came together, truthfully. So we put the signs up in August to say we were going to open the museum, and then kind of people started coming our way. A wonderful woman, Kay Butcher, I partnered with her, and she has a preschool education background, and we then had a community input open house in October of 2016, and invited people just come in, see the blank space, and on whiteboards write up their ideas, and we use those community ideas to design our exhibits. And then volunteers came forth to build and paint and do all of the work. So it was amazing.
It takes a village.
Yes, absolutely.
And how wonderful is that for especially this particular project?
Yeah.
I love that idea. And I read that you have had over 100 volunteers.
Yes. Yes.
Which is really
It was incredible. And it wouldn't have happened without them. It was amazing.
And so much is handmade and repurposed, from what I understand.
Yes.
So what kind of impact have you had, are you hoping to have?
Yeah, so in the first 6 weeks, we've had over 4,000 people already come through our doors. And we just weren't expecting that. And that doesn't even include the 111 memberships that we've sold. So what I've found is that people from Western Dane County, Iowa County, Sauk County, they don't have another option that's within an hour's drive. And so we are now the kind of educational space for children and families in that area. And you know, Madison has such an amazing facility. A lot of folks can't make the drive there. So we're an alternative to you know, for those that just need a quick thing to do during the day.
Yeah.
And you know, a way to beat the heat, we have air conditioning, so we've had a lot of people the past couple weeks come that just needed to get out and
lure them inside. In, at least with the air conditioning, they'll find it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned the memberships. That's amazing too, that you had sold so many before you even opened.
Yes.
That really shows the faith that they have.
It was a leap of faith for all the people that that trusted us to actually open. And I'm so proud because we opened and we've done it really successfully, and we did it with low cost, and I think that will allow us to sustain ourselves.
We only have about a minute left, Karen. Where do you see this going in 5 years?
Within the next 5 years, I would love to expand the scope of what we do. Right now, the museum is geared toward children 10 and under, and I would love to start offering programming for middle school and high school students to be able to help them develop from a career standpoint and provide some enrichment as well.
Do you have a quick piece of advice for anybody else thinking of starting a nonprofit?
You know, I would say just go for it. Every step leads to the next thing, and you don't know what you don't know, and it's having that determination to tackle each little issue that comes up, and I think anyone can do it if they put their mind to it. So.
Again, just taking that leap.
Yes.
Just doing it.
Yeah.
And finally, the response you've been getting, it sounds like it's been overwhelming.
It's been amazing.
And positive.
It's just been such a blessing and so thrilling to have all the folks that come in and are so impressed that we've done such a quality job in such a small town. I think that's what surprises people. We didn't just put something together, you know.
Karen, I'm so sorry we're
Yeah,
out
no,
of
it's
time.
great.
Again, this is Karen. She's with the Black Earth Children's Museum, and we have more coming up right after the break.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. When legendary singer Patti LaBelle learned she had diabetes over 20 years ago, she thought that meant no more fun in the kitchen, a thought shared by many of the 1.4 million Americans diagnosed with diabetes each year. However, she soon realized that she could not just live with diabetes, but live well. We are delighted to have the music legend and cookbook author joining us to discuss her diabetes journey and what advice she has for those living with the disease. Hello, Patti. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, Ellen. Thank you very much.
Now, Patti, you called your diabetes diagnosis a wake-up call to take better care of yourself. What would you say to somebody who has recently been diagnosed?
Well, I have spoken to someone who was recently diagnosed, one of my assistants, and he's been, it's been about 2 weeks now, and he's totally changed his diet, you know, to salads and steamed chicken and all that wonderful stuff, and he's going back and forth to his doctor to make sure that A1C stays intact. And I was not diagnosed until I passed out on stage, so actually had I chosen to go to a doctor before that, I would have known probably earlier that I was a diabetic. But most people don't go to the doctors and ask questions and see if they're fine, they're, you know, everything is working properly. So I think, thank God, I passed out on stage, because no telling what would have happened if I didn't find out that I was a diabetic. So after becoming a diabetic, I started preparing my foods like someone who wanted to live, like sauteed chicken instead of fried chicken, steamed fish, vegetables, you know, like the kale, cooking it not all day and just making it like maybe a 20-minute kale cook, and salads. And when I would crave things like cheesecake, that's when my Hood Calorie Countdown came in. The greatest beverage, and it tastes like you're cheating. It's like, it's great. It seems like a dessert or something, but I've been using it for 10 years. And, you know, so I partnered with them to talk about how great I think it is, because when you have it, there are less calories, less carbohydrates, and you feel as though you've had something that you cheated to have, you know. It makes me feel cute. I love this product.
That is just awesome, and it looks like you've made a lot of different life changes to be healthier. And I was curious too, how are you more mindful now of what you eat? It sounds like you're making some really good choices.
Well, I'm so mindful that I go to the point of taking my pots and pans to hotels, setting up kitchen in my suites, finding a farmer's market, and making everything in my room, like sauteed string beans, like really quickly, sauteing a scallop or something, and you don't have to have all of those things like fried scallops you don't have to have. And it's just, I learned to take care of myself, because when I do order room service, I never know what's in it. But by doing this myself, I stay, I'm on point. And I love doing this because I love to cook. So why not cook healthier?
Exactly. And now, speaking of cooking, in addition to being a music legend, you're an accomplished cookbook author. Do you have any recipe recommendations for somebody looking to change their diet?
Yeah, it's like I said, the things that I just said, that could change your diet. Sauteing your food, doing some Greek yogurts and all kind of things like salads. Who can't do a salad? Just so many things that you said. It's common sense to know what you can do for yourself to live longer. You know, and some people are so stuck in their old ways, you know, making foods that way. With the potato salad with the 12 eggs, I make it, but in moderation, I'll taste it. I won't have a whole bowl anymore. And, you know, you can cook better for yourself. And that's why I'm happy to have a traveling case with pots and spices. I take it to the hotel and open it up, and I'm good.
That's so wonderful. And now, Patti, where can people go for some more information?
You can go to hood.com and find out so many things about the product, you know, and comes in different flavors, and it's just great.
Sounds delicious, making me hungry. Again, Patti LaBelle.
You have to have it.
Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank
I really
you
appreciate
too.
it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, and we'll be back with more Talk of the Town right here on Wisconsin's 57 Television after this.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. We're going to get a little bit of an inside look at CrossFit as the CrossFit Games are coming to Wisconsin. We're going to learn a little bit about that in just a minute. First, I want to introduce you to Megan Zeckel, who is one of the owners of CrossFit Fort Atkinson. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So glad to chat with you. Now, let's get into a little bit of some of the gym's background before we talk about the CrossFit Games. What sort of inspired you to open the gym?
Well, we opened the gym in 2012, and to be honest, CrossFit wasn't something very well known at that point. My brother-in-law he kind of traveled around and did his certifications, and we were kind of like, what are you doing? Like, what is this, you know? And so he brought it back to us and was able to train a handful of us in an old warehouse that we originally started in. And what ended up happening is we have kids at home, so it turned into kind of our social thing where we had our friends come, we started working out together, and it just became more and more. We had more and more people interested in it. And so my husband, with two other good friends of ours, decided, you know what, let's try this out and let's open up a gym and see how many people we can help. And I mean, it was a blessing. I mean, we now, my husband and I have now owned the gym for the last couple of years that we ended up buying out the guys, but there's still an active part in the community, and it's just nice to see how far it's come and how many people we have.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great story, too, of sort of how that got started,
Yeah.
really by your own sort of passion
Yeah.
in learning this kind of sport or fitness activity. And now, fast forward to your goals as owners,
Yeah.
what do you sort of see for yourself? What do you hope to accomplish?
Our goals, it's nice because Jeb and I are on kind of two different sides of the spectrum. He is an athlete. He's always been one that wants to do something else and he wants to compete. And for me, it was never like that. I never was a fitness guru. I was more, I just want to do something to be healthy. I want to do something with my husband. I want to have something that my kids can be around and see as a lifestyle. And so for us, it's more how many people can we help in our community and how many people can we, because working out seems to be a very daunting task to a lot of people, and there's a very negative association for a lot of people to it. And so for us, we just want to see how many people we can help make that into a positive thing for them and their family.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked before about the incredible age range that you work with
Yeah.
in fitness levels. So if you don't think CrossFit is for you, you're absolutely not right. It's really for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
And I want to touch on the CrossFit Games because the CrossFit Games are coming to Wisconsin. This is incredible.
it
So what
is.
does that really mean to you?
Well, the CrossFit Games have been held ever since they started. They have been held in California, and they are stirring up the pot and they're bringing it to Madison. And which is insane. I mean, it's the only time they've moved it. So I think all of Wisconsin is now, even the Midwest, is just excited to bring this and share this love of this fitness to our community. So for us and for our members, it's just to bring more excitement because it was kind of out of reach for a lot of us to go to California. Now it's sitting in our back door, and so we have a lot of people that it'll start to make more sense and to see, okay, look at all these people, and look at all these people that have the same interest or have a same goal or just want to teach themselves a better fitness and life journey for them and their families.
Yeah, really well said. And I want to make sure we touch on, too, before we go, that your husband is an athlete, and he's got sort of a special connection to the games. Talk to us about that.
He does, yeah. He's been going after this for quite some time. It's been his goal. He always knew he wanted to be something more, something greater, had potential for stuff. And so for the last 6 years, he's really driven himself to work up to this opportunity. So for the CrossFit Games, in order to make it, you got to go through a handful of different levels to actually make it there. For him, it would be starting the open into kind of the lead into the CrossFit Games. He had to be the top for his athlete division. It's 40 to 45, and so for him, he had to be top 200 in the world. And then from there, he went to a qualifier. He had to make top 20 of those men in the world to actually go to the games. And so he did that, and now he'll be headed to the games to represent Wisconsin, which is huge.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah.
And you said before we got started, he's the only one in Wisconsin.
As of
that
now,
is
yeah,
doing
he's the
this.
only one in Wisconsin that's representing our state.
Really incredible.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you and your husband and the success of CrossFit
Thank
Fort
you.
Atkinson. We're excited to really bring awareness, like you said,
Yep.
to the sport and let people know that it's really for everybody. So
Yep.
thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Again, this is Megan Zeckel with CrossFit Fort Atkinson, and we're going to be back with more Talk of the Town right after the break. Stick around.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. Well, it's fair season in Wisconsin, and we're talking the Wisconsin State Fair specifically. With me today is Christy Chuckle. She's the Communications Director for the Wisconsin State Fair. Thanks for joining me, Christy.
Thanks.
So, we all are familiar with the rides, games, and cream puffs.
Yes.
But what's new this year at Wisconsin State Fair?
We're very excited. We have a big new attraction, literally. It's called the Wonder Wheel. So it is the largest traveling Ferris wheel in North America. It's a new ride that's only been at one other fair in the country. So they're setting it up right now. It'll be ready August 3rd through the 13th. It's absolutely spectacular. It really is. It's 15 stories high, so you'll be able to get a great view of not only West Dallas, but the entire city of Milwaukee. So we're really excited to bring that to the fair this year. And it's separate from our ride and game area. So we have an area called Spin City, which is where all of our rides and carnival games and things are. This is kind of its own attraction on the west side of the fair park.
How wonderful, and that's something that both the young and young at heart can enjoy.
Absolutely.
And I hadn't thought about the view.
Yeah, I really think, we have the Sky Glider at the fair too, and we have some really high rides in Spin City. So there's a lot of places you can get a really great view of the city, but this will be much higher than anything else we have. We also have a couple other great new things. We have what's called the All for One Swine Show this year, so that'll be the opening night of the fair. It's actually for kids who have intellectual disabilities, and they get the opportunity to show an animal at the fair. We're excited about it. It's been done at a couple other fairs, and we're so happy to bring it to our fair. And I think, it's things like that that just remind people to come out and see all of the agriculture at the Wisconsin State Fair, because that's really what the fair, that's why it started, that's the cornerstone, and we want to tell people, the food is fabulous, the rides are fabulous. We haven't even talked entertainment yet, but we want to make sure people go check out an agriculture show, whether it's a horse show, a swine show.
Yeah, let's talk more about that, because I agree. I think we do get distracted with the rides and the games and the food. And forget that is kind of the roots of the fair.
Yeah, and that's why the fair was created. So it's been around for 166 years, and we're celebrating 125 years at Wisconsin State Fair Park this year. So when the fair first started, it was literally about showcasing agriculture in Wisconsin, and it moved around the state. So it moved to different cities. It was in Madison, it was in Janesville, but it found a home 125 years ago in West Dallas. What we love about that location too is it's a pretty urban setting, obviously being near Milwaukee, so it brings that agriculture component of Wisconsin to a lot of kids and families and people who really, don't get to experience that every day.
How very Wisconsin,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I love that idea, and I'm thinking back 125 years ago, we didn't have easy ways to communicate with one another, and that was a way to congregate.
Absolutely.
But we do want to talk about the food.
Okay.
And as we mentioned earlier, everyone is familiar with the cream puff. I'm wondering, what else do you have food-wise?
Well, we have nearly 70 new foods this year,
70?
which is pretty standard. Yes. Our vendors come up with some crazy new concoctions every year. So we have a food competition at the fair. It's called the Sporkies, and we actually invite our vendors to try to come up with the craziest new things they can, and then we pick 8 finalists, which is very tough to choose. And then they compete on the Wednesday of the fair to be crowned basically the grand champion of all the new foods. So,
an example?
Oh gosh, the ones I'm looking forward to, there's a ravioli that's made out of bacon. So it's bacon ravioli. I don't know how else to describe it.
I think we get it.
Yes, so that's one of the Sporkies finals. There's actually a couple different kinds. That's at Brew City. We also have some great desserts that are in the Sporkies as well. So one that people are excited about, it's called Chocomello Nachos, but it's from a gelato vendor that we have at the fair, and it's literally gelato nachos. So I think those two will be very popular, but they all look fabulous. You can get all of the lists, obviously, on our website at wistatefair.com.
That's a great idea to refer that. We only have about a minute left. Folks are thinking about going. How do you get a deal or a discount?
Tickets are on sale now, wistatefair.com. Like I said, we have $9 tickets through the end of July, but we have a lot of great admission deals at our gates, so I encourage people to go on and look at those deals opening day. There's a great deal, $2 and 2 non-perishable food items gets you into the fair, and it benefits Hunger Task Force. There's also Kohl's Family Value Day on the Monday of the fair, and all the concert lineup is on our website too, and you can buy those concert tickets online, and the concert ticket includes your fair admission. So I encourage
That's true. We didn't even get to talk about the entertainment.
okay.
There is so much going on at the Wisconsin State Fair. We can't squeeze it all in. No. All righty. Well, the fair is running from August 3rd through the 13th. You can get tickets At the door.
Yep, right at the gates, $12 for adults and $7 for kids.
Alrighty. Well, this is Christy Chuckle. She's the Communications Director with the Wisconsin State Fair. And that's it today for Talk of the Town. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.